I'm not doing any of this Fugazi stuff. That's probably a 1 out of 10. These are very vague statements. I don't know what that means. I'm gonna give you guys one condition. All right, guys, I just had the most captivating call with 3 individuals right now. It was absolutely insane. These guys are trying to build a SaaS software. They're really young. If you want to talk to me about your SaaS or just company or a business idea in general, please go ahead and reach out to me. My email is down in the bio below. My name is Shah.siddiki. Let's get right into it. Yo, what's up, guys?
How you doing today?
So we got Adam and Mo. So obviously last time we talked about you guys looking to start a SaaS company, software as a service in the global trade sector for like import export. We talked about you going and doing some research and stuff and talking to people that actually, you know, are in that business to see if you might be able to figure out what they actually need. What are you guys going on so far? Who did you guys talk to? What did you guys hear back?
We reached out to over 50 import-export business owners. We sort of did the thing you told us to use our age to our advantage, address their issues and their problems. And in doing so, we sort of found a common ground in what issues they face.
I can list a few. For Assurant Field Asset Services, they needed to develop a centralized property data management tool because they had trouble managing data. Then we have Premier Field Services. The problem that they faced was lack of streamlined project management.
Tell me what that means. Streamlined project management? Because that's a really vague thing, right?
Yeah, it's really just simplifying everything.
Okay, so those are both solutions. Tell me about the pain points that they were like, oh, this is a big problem that we're facing. I think one of the hardest things for SaaS companies and people that are trying to start SaaS companies is focusing on the problem, because the problem's not that attractive. Our minds always want to jump to, oh, I can make this. But we need to stop and think, what is the problem that exists? Because the solution will only be in demand if the problem is also extremely prevalent. And also, where are you reading this off of? Is this like an Excel sheet or something?
Yeah, I have an
Can you share your screen?
Yeah.
This is really good. Who talked to these people?
It was all of us.
You have less than a sentence of a problem. So that doesn't really guide in any given direction.
The main problems were like with simplifying everything and just keeping track of everything.
Keeping track of shipments in other countries, that's a problem. What other clear problems did you guys hear?
Say like somewhere along the lines like in the distribution area.
Once again, that's not your problem.
Client acquisition.
Finding customers? For what specifically?
And the man we were speaking to in the UAE, he had an issue with being able to get in better contact with his leads who were like in Kazakhstan or Turkey. Emailing them back and forth just wasn't working.
How is he finding the leads right now?
A lot of these other companies, they were going off of connections.
So it's a lot of word of mouth.
Word of mouth, yeah.
Okay, have you guys done any research on how these import-export companies find leads other than word of mouth?
It's emails.
So it's really, really easy to convince a company as long as what I call this is proof over promise. What I mean by this, when you go to these companies and you say, hey, I can go ahead and find you leads on the product that you're exporting for other people who need them in other countries. And here's a list of 10 of them right now. You say you talked to 50 people. How many people actually told you that this was a problem?
25 out of the 50. It was pretty common. Aside from the import-export business, we also dove a little bit into construction because as we were looking into the import-export, we noticed a few problems.
What did you guys find in the construction industry?
Like finding materials, builders, and also budgeting.
How many people did you talk to?
It was more research-based.
What that tells me right away is that you guys aren't married to one industry. And that's really important because when you're trying to create a SaaS, the first best advice that I could give anybody is try to look at things that you have some sort of familiarity with. Your dad or your uncle or if someone has a business related to import-export. And so that way you have a competitive advantage to figure out the problems that are in that industry. For me, I have a body shop software that helps body shops communicate with their customers. I'm seeing that it seems like you guys jumped over to construction, which I love. And last time we spoke, we talked about import-export and I told you guys go talk to 50 people. 50 people is a lot. And you're doing it all while not even knowing if it's gonna get you anywhere. But being okay with that is the first step. You have to have this expectation that, hey, I'm not gonna get anything out of this. I'm literally gonna go call 50 people and I might end up with nothing. It's like digging for gold. And the fact that you guys already pushed on a construction right away, because none of you, Hashir, Adam, Mo, came into this meeting saying, I know this big problem right here and we can solve this problem. That tells me that you guys weren't able to find a problem in that, right? So you have one of two choices. Number one, you go back to all these people, or you find other people and you talk to them and you continue building an Excel sheet, put a little bit more detail into those problems. And so it's a real written out problem. Tell me the stuff that sucks. That's what you have to ask these people. Or number two, what you guys did already, which is move on to a different niche. Now, I highly recommend whichever niche you move on to, one of you three should have a competitive advantage in that niche. Now, am I saying you can't find a problem and build a SaaS for a specific industry if you don't have a competitive advantage? No, but it's a lot smarter the way that, for example, like I said, I did it where I I landed on a problem that I had at my own company, it should be close to you, close to your heart. If that means that you have to go from import expert to construction to landscaping, that's okay. But I recommend that if you're gonna put a list together, start with what you already are doing or around on a daily basis where you see a problem.
I'm very close with my two siblings, and they're in the medical field, right? A big one that they told me was background checks for pharmaceutical companies.
At hospitals,
Yeah, my brother, he does the managing at the company.
familiarity level there is high. These are the steps you should take to build a list of industries for which you may be able to create a software solution. Number one, like I said, find an industry that you have a connection with, how your brother works in the medical industry. But, and this is a big but, number two, this is the second most important thing, find industries that lack technology. I want you to think about industries that have a lot of tech.
Thanks.
Education.
Banks, education, amazing. Hospitals. There is no shortage of tech in these industries. I would start off, if you want to find an industry to create a software solution for, the industry that you have connections in. Number two, finding industries that lack technology. Once you write the list down of, hey, these are the industries that I have familiarity with, start crossing the ones out that already have a lot of tech. You don't want to go into an industry that's already flooded with tech. Not saying you can't be successful if you do that. It's just not smart. It's not smart to go to Antarctica and try to sell ice. There's ice everywhere. Number three, and this is one of the main things you have to think about is, so you want lots of customers. You want to try and balance those three things. If you can find an industry in which you are familiar, an industry that lacks technology, and then number three, has lots of customers, that's where you find your balance. When I talk about lots of customers, I don't want you to think that 5,000 is a lot of customers. 5,000 pool is not that many, okay? Because it's gonna take you a while to break into these industries. And once you break into the industries, if your entire pool of customers is 5,000 people, your product has to be charging a lot of money in order to start making some real money. And if you're not charging a lot of money, your company will never be worth a lot because your overall annual recurring revenue or monthly recurring revenue numbers are not that high. These are the three steps that you need to take to find the industry. And I think you guys are on the right path right now. I think it's way too soon to figure out what kind of solution you can create. And so if you guys want to be successful, what I need you to do is I need you to go build this list of industries based on the three steps that I gave you guys. And then from there, talk to 50 people in each one of the industries. It's gonna take a while. I don't expect you guys to come back to me before a month and a half, 2 months from now. And I don't want one sentence problems. I want paragraph problems. And the last thing that's really important is I need you to rank the problems. The ones that are the most common, I want those on top of the list. I want you guys to go do your homework. We already had a pretty long meeting here. So I think finding the industry is the most important thing. Come up with those problems that you can, but really write down the problems. I'm not doing any of this Fugazi stuff. You guys heard me ask. I know Adam was listening very carefully, it seems, when he was listening, because he understood right away when I was like, hey, Hashir, the things you're telling me, these are very vague statements. When I ask for a problem, I want to hear difficulty keeping track of shipments in other countries because they send shipments like this and this and this, and these shipping companies use this type of technology. That's a real problem. Saying property management or data management, I don't know what that means. That's not a problem. That's not enough for me to be able to help you guys. And what that requires is you guys really have to go talk to real human beings and beg for their time. Say, I need 30 minutes of your time, whatever you have to do. I don't care if it's embarrassing. I don't care if it's degrading. Tell them you're 18, 17. That's your biggest weapon. You guys are young. In the eyes of anybody that's my age, I'm 31 years old. You guys are children, bro. You guys have that tool that you guys need to use. And these people that created success for themselves, they were also once in your shoes. They were also once unsure about what they wanted to do in life. But somehow, one way or another, they ended up creating multi-million-dollar corporations and businesses. And so when they talk to you, if you really show them that you want to make something of yourself the way that they did, they are going to see some level of themselves in you. And therefore, they're going to want to help you. And what I'm hoping for, all of you guys come back and go, oh my God, we found what we want to do. This is a massive problem. Everyone keeps saying this over and over and over and over again. Just the fact that you guys will be in that boat puts you ahead of 99% of companies that start making software.
I have one more question about that. So once we've gotten to that stage where we've spoken to all these business owners, we've addressed all their problems, we have that one like big solution, what would be the next step from there?
Once you have figured out what the real problem is in the industry, you figure out what the solution is. There's a framework that I have that helps you kind of pretty much fake it till you make it. So we'll be able to create a wait list of people who are saying that they have these problems and then create a proposed solution. We're going to literally make a website that looks legit, but we're not going to spend a single penny making the software yet. We're going to utilize the resources that we have available to us, iPhones, video cameras, send emails to people that are in the industry that you've talked to, and we're going to try and get them to essentially give us some sort of promise that they will purchase or utilize the software if it were built. And as long as they can do that, as long as there's a high level of confidence that they have in you, and you can convince them that you're going to build a software, it's really easy at that point to sit down and convince somebody like me that has money or somebody else that has money and say, we're going to put our all into this and we're going to go ahead and build this software. And as far as guiding you on how the actual software building happens, we're going to talk about that completely at a different time.
So
I have like 2 more minutes.
another problem like I really faced when calling these companies is that like I was unable to talk to somebody in a place of power. I was talking to employees, they were unable to answer my questions or anything I really had.
So you need to work out on your reach out strategy. You're not going to be able to get on the phone with the right person unless you figure out your reach out or cold call strategy. Sit down, use your brains, and think about, how do I get another human being to talk to me? And if you can't get them to answer on the phone, find companies that are local. You have to work with what you have. Like I said, you have to find companies that you have familiarity or connections with. If you're unable to reach anybody who runs or is in a place of authority at a medical device company, then do not try to build a software for medical device companies. So that's my best advice. Work on your reach out strategy, your cold call strategy, and it's gonna be tough. Like I said, you're gonna have to like get into a place where you might even be begging to talk to somebody. Do it. It doesn't matter. And come back to me when you guys talk to people, and hopefully we can figure out what problems are most common. Real problems, like I said. Oh, you're logged out. And that's it. They got logged out. Okay, guys, obviously call ended a little abruptly there. We talked about a lot. There was so much that we went over. So this is pretty much the obstacle course and the hoops that you have to jump through in order to ensure that you're not spending an insane amount of time, energy, effort, and money in creating the wrong SaaS software, right? So either you're building something like this or you want to build something like this. I would love to talk to you as well, the same way that I talked to these 3 individuals, and hopefully get you the advice that you need. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you guys enjoyed just watching, please go ahead and like, comment, and subscribe. Honestly, and I mean that, like, please comment down below if you're still watching this video. I think this was really fun. I think it was good. What do you think, bro? It was good, right? Yeah, it was fun. So I think, yeah, really good value. And I think it gets a deeper insight into my brain. Like I said, subscribe down below. We're going to be making a lot more of these videos. Thank you so much. My name is Shah.Siddiki. I'll talk to you guys soon.